You'll go to hell if you've lived in sin. So say your prayers, 'cause here comes Grim.
There's been a great deal of fussing and a feuding over this BetterHelp service, and some people are treating it as though it's the new Candid or something. A lot of people have been endorsing it and saying it helped them, a suspiciously large number of people, and there's been inter-referrals between them. If you want a breakdown of the ethical concerns and so forth, then I suggest going and checking out Agent of Doubt's channel. He is a professional therapist. He understands the ethics and so on, and he's hopefully currently in correspondence with some of the people there. So he breaks it down from the therapist side, or why there's concerns and issues with this service, and so I suggest you go and listen to him. He's also doing a much undervalued and thankless task in tracking the Alexander Kolpakov incident, the skeptic feminist shooting, so he's worth keeping an eye on for that as well. I heartily endorse and recommend his channel, and he isn't paying me to do that, in case you were wondering. But yeah, BetterHelp. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't use a service that maybe is good for you, and particularly if you're in America, I know that these kind of things are expensive to the point of being out of reach of a lot of people, and so web doctors who you can see and describe your symptoms and stuff to over Skype, video chat, or whatever else it might be. These are good options for people in those situations. Do whatever's gonna help you. If this is a service that genuinely helps you, then you knock yourself out. But there are issues, and like I say, Agent of Doubt sketches those out far better than I could. From a patient's point of view, I would be concerned that the therapists and so on are properly vetted, properly accredited. There's no substitute for meeting someone face to face, particularly for the early sessions and so on. As you describe what's wrong with you, and they figure it out. There may be cues that aren't present even on video calls. So, and I would be concerned whether they would set you up with the person who's right for you. All I can really suggest is that if you are going to use this service from a patient's point of view, look up who they've assigned you to, or the therapist that you've picked to talk to. Check them out away from the site. Most therapists and professionals will have websites, they'll have reviews and recommendations, or the opposite thereof, somewhere online. So you can find them, you can look them up, you can see if they're the right person with the right approach, see other people that have used them, and so forth. But do it away from the BetterHelp side, because they're going to be skewed towards presenting a better picture. Just be aware that off that site you're also going to see people who are highly motivated to be against it, so you have to weigh it up. But definitely do go and look into their credentials and stuff elsewhere. If you're in the UK, I would not bother signing up for this service at all. We have a free service on the NHS called iTalk. If you have a diagnosis, if you are genuinely mentally ill, then you can get a referral from your doctor, and you will have a telephone or email service called iTalk. It's mostly cognitive behavior therapy, that kind of thing, but you'll get some benefit just from talking to someone, and it's free. And nothing beats free, and everyone on that's properly accredited and all the rest. So if you're in the UK, use iTalk. If you're elsewhere, look, if it helps you, use it. Just be aware, be careful, check out the therapists elsewhere.
Yeah, loves company, that's what the wise man said.
It was World Mental Health Day yesterday, which means we got all the usual empty gestures and empty promises from people. The emphasis on men's mental health seems to have declined a little this year, though there was a rather nervous soldier who runs a charity and group for ex-soldiers on the BBC yesterday, so that was something, I guess. Money has been promised in various manifestos and things, but I think that was a cynical ploy, knowing that this was coming up during political convention season here in the UK, and the kind of money that they're offering isn't a great deal of help, really. The the disability assessments are still not geared to people with mental health issues. That's a big sticking point. I think Atos and Capita were the companies running these services. Atos seems to have borne the brunt of people's displeasure with the way things have been being run. People with stage 4 cancer being denied monetary aid even though they can barely get out of bed, things like that. My claim's now been running for more than a year. That assessment I complained about the other week, that was my reassessment, my yearly reassessment, because they hadn't, basically because I'm appealing, because it's going to tribunal by the end of this month, which I'm brooking myself over. They are basically holding my claim open, and so I had to go in for a reassessment, though nobody seemed to know what any of this was about. The whole process is screwed, but yeah, anyway, Atos they're still doing it, they're just under the name Independent Assessment Services now, so don't be fooled. I want to drive that home to people. And of course we got the usual round of assholes who consider themselves to be self-made, or that religion has saved them from their mental illness, or whatever else, talking about how you can just kind of think your way out of it if you're a mentalist like I am. Somehow the power of positive thinking will make all the difference, and it's all in your head. Well, yeah, so is a tumour. If you have brain cancer, it doesn't mean you can just wish it away. It doesn't work like that. Some people, it's situational. So if you fix your situation practically, and the event that triggered the depression or whatever it might be, fades into the past, some people can recover. Others of us have clinical depression. And, I've weathered it all. Oh, it's all in your head. People avoiding you like it's contagious or something. People not understanding the problems going through the process to get help and so forth. The expense, the weird sense of guilt when you do apply for help. You see me at my relative best most of the time on this channel, and this is a situation I can control. I can cut, I can edit, I can retake, and so on. So if you were to gauge me on my internet activity, I would probably seem fit and well and healthy to most of you, but you don't see what goes on most of the time. How an appointment, like a medical appointment or something, can knock me flat on my ass for like 3 days in a row, or how much I stress about doing my accounts, or how anxious I get even about going to see my friends, things like that. You see me at my best, and some people seem to assume that I play up the mental health issues or something for sympathy. I don't think I probably talk about it as much as I should. I try to be open about it, because I know it helps other people when I do talk about it, but sometimes you don't have the energy, or the strength to put up with the trolling and so on that tries to exploit your mental health issues to get at you. God, those people are cunts. But I don't know. I do my best, my little bit of best that I can, to shore up other people with issues, because I know that while I am ill, I'm far from being as badly off as many other people are. It's just unfortunate I've lost some avenues I used to use to help people, like G+, like my old Twitter account, unfortunately. But what can you do? What you can do is help each other out, be understanding. This is bad phrasing, but educate yourself on how these things work, what genuine mental illness looks like. the character of it, what causes it, things like that. And treat people normally, but be mindful of the issues that might be going on inside their head. That's the best advice I can give.
Come to me for sympathy. If you can't raise your head, stand up and see.
Quite a lot of nice, kind people ask often enough, sometimes too often, if I'm okay, how I'm doing, and so on. So, given it's the day for it, it makes an excuse, I guess, even if I'm a day late and $1 short. How am I? I'm okay, I guess. I'm at this point where I've done everything that I can think of to cope with my illness, to create a better environment around myself so that it's less bad. I know and understand my illness. Every time I go in for a doctor's appointment or an assessment or whatever, they're always, "Oh, you're very intelligent and articulate about your illness and everything that you're doing to try and cope with it." And perversely, this acts against me a lot of the time, makes it harder to get help, or it's just weird that should be the case, I think. Obviously, I mean, I'm getting my ESA, which is good and bad. Good in that the extra money really helps and gives me the opportunity to treat myself occasionally rather than scrimping and saving every single penny. It makes a huge difference. Just little luxuries, an item of clothing, whereas I'd wear things until they wore out before, you know. A takeaway meal once a month. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, does it? But it's a lot. It makes a huge difference to my life in a positive way. Less worries about money, basically. In a negative way, there is this sense of guilt at being someone getting financial help, knowing that there are people who are worse off, who are being denied because the system is fucked, and knowing that by taking public money, essentially, I feel like I owe a debt to everyone and everything around me. That makes me push myself to work, and when I can't work, I feel the weight of that much more strongly than I did before. I feel useless, and I haven't been able to work particularly well lately. That's why I've been fixating on things like Inktober, or doing a blog every day, or these videos every day, keeping that going. You know, these are little short things that are easier to do, sometimes more reacting to the news, or being given a task to do by someone else, even if it's just an internet hashtag or something, that makes it easier. But the self-motivated work, I keep stalling or staring at a page or rewriting the same paragraph over and over and over again. That's become really difficult. This last month has been incredibly expensive, which never helps matters. Yeah, so I'm coping. I haven't had any really bad dips in a long time, but this month is stressful because of money, and the appeals process is the end of the month, 29th, and I'm already bricking myself about going through that, talking to a judge or a magistrate and medical experts over the phone as they assess my case. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. So I'm coping, but I am a bit of a raw emotional wound at the moment, and full of stress and shakes leading up to the end of the month. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, there you go. I'm alive and coping, and that's all any of us can really ask for, isn't it? Zang.
I didn't wanna hurt you, baby. I didn't wanna hurt you. I didn't wanna hurt you, but you're pretty when you cry.
I can make it happen. I can get you anything you want. You just have to talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm your priest. I'm your shrink. I'm your main connection to the switchboard of souls. I'm the magic man. The Santa Claus of the subconscious. You say it. You even think it. You can have it.